The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised. Caution. You are now entering the all-consuming realm of Shay's Paranormal Chat, where the things that are better left unsaid are actually said.
Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to Shay's Paranormal Chat. Paranormal podcasting done Shay's way. Tons of fun.
Dude, seriously?
A bit sarcastic.
Hashtag investigator, not hunter.
But always real.
Hashtag data, not evidence.
Don't get your panties in a twist.
Oh my god, really?
This is real, raw conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good evening, everybody. TGIF, as always, the best day of the week. Not only because it's Friday, but because you get to hear me talk about the paranormal and probably a bunch of nonsense, as usual. But I am so excited tonight. For the first time, special guest co-host, Christopher Brown. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming back. You were the guest last week, and you survived. You lived through the show, and you came back for the second week in a row. So
that's right. I'm very happy to be here, and last week was fun. So this will be fun too.
It will be. So tonight we have Ashley Merrill from AJ's Paranormal. How you doing, Ashley?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm glad I finally got you on.
Yes, I'm happy to be on.
Yeah, when everybody else was on, you weren't on that time, so you get a special spot all by yourself.
Spotlight's on Ashley.
Yeah.
Yep. Gonna give a couple very quick first shout outs to Mama Deb and Matt. They're in the chat. I know Jeff's listening. He has trouble getting into chat, but I know he's listening.
What's up,
guys? Before I forget, because I went a lot of weeks without having a paranormal investigator on. Last week was the first time, and I forgot till the end. I want to start off with my game, this or that. It started off with like 4 or 5 questions that I asked every single guest. So I just put it into a game form, and I add to it every once in a while. You ready, Ashley?
I do that.
All you gotta do is I'm gonna give you a choice of 2 words, and I always like to say we do not judge you. There's no right or wrong answer, but silently we are judging. So.
Yeah, totally judging. No pressure, though. No pressure.
No pressure.
Okay. No pressure at all.
None. All right, here we go. Investigator or hunter?
Both.
I like that. Data or evidence?
Evidence.
Provoking or no way?
No way.
Residential or commercial?
Both.
Orb or just dust?
What?
Orb or just dust?
Depends.
Okay.
That's kind of a touchy situation because a lot of people actually like mistake orbs for dust.
Yeah.
Or dust for orbs.
I know what you meant, yeah. Recorder?
I said the same thing. I tripped up on.
Yeah, you did. Recorder or video?
I like video.
Demon or asshole ghost?
Yeah, there's a lot of asshole ghosts.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. See, that wasn't that bad.
No.
See, I didn't know that the option of saying both was on the table, or I definitely would have chosen that when I played the game last week.
There's no right or wrong answer, but I tend to ask every guest those questions when they're investigators, so I figured make it fun. Okay.
It is fun.
Yeah. And then I get to make fun of the answers, so.
And silently judge them.
And silently judge it. Matt
said,
Matt in chat says, "There's no R in data, damn masshole." I guess I didn't say data right.
In his defense, it did kind of sound like data, but you know.
Yeah. Hey.
Matt, we're not playing with your balls tonight.
It's a dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, Matt. You hear that? You gotta play by yourself tonight. What got you into the paranormal, Ashley?
Oh man, I've been into the paranormal for a very, very, very long time. And what's funny is once I started dating Jeff, I realized how big it is, I guess. Like I'm Wiccan. I'm also clairvoyant. I'm empathic. And I don't know. My mom's a medium. So it's always been like in my life. And when I started dating Jeff, I realized he was a ghost hunter. And I'm like, wow, what the hell is that? I'm like, I see those TV shows about ghost hunters or whatnot, but there's actually other people that do this stuff. So I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So he brought me on a couple ghost hunts, and I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. Like, this is really neat. So I started doing it with him, like on the side, and then we decided to start our own group.
Yes, AJ's Paranormal. What's that? 6 months ago?
Yeah, it's been about that.
Something like that?
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, we've done
thought
stuff
it was
like
something that was on TV. Sorry.
Yeah, I never realized how many paranormal groups there really are that are not on TV.
Right. That kind of do it
kind of like, yeah, I was kind of mesmerized, and it was actually kind of cool. I'm like, wow, I could get into this because, like, I've always been interested in it. Like, I feel spirits, like, I've heard spirits, my whole entire life, and I'm like, oh, wait, like, people actually do this. Like, this is actually kind of cool. So I'm like, oh, I could really get into it. And I do it more for, like, helping people. And more for fun.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like going through a theme park that's dedicated to scaring the shit out of you.
Yeah. I really haven't seen or had much scare the shit out of me, though. It's pretty hard to do.
Oh no? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Famous last words though.
To be most jumpy.
Gonna scare the shit out of me. My God. Like, I'm down. I've had places that make me really uncomfortable, yes. Like, I've been to some places that do make me very uncomfortable because of bad entities or whatnot, but nothing has really scared the crap out of me yet.
We have a question in chat which kind of ties in, so I'm going to interrupt. Darren asked, what is your biggest paranormal fear?
But reword that. I'm kind of confused.
Let me see. Let me make sure I'm asking. What do you fear most in the paranormal?
What do I fear?
Yes. You got to get over my accent, I know.
I don't really fear anything paranormal. I've seen a lot of things. I've done a lot of things in my life that there's not really much that I fear. I do a lot of things for protection before I even go into anything. As far as like, before I even go on any investigations. So I don't really fear anything. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff I've seen in my life, like, would probably terrify a lot of people. So there's not much that I fear.
Now, would you say that you don't fear it, but would you say that there's still a level of like anxiety and anticipation and kind of nervousness that goes with it, but maybe fear doesn't creep into the fear realm, would you say?
Yeah, it wouldn't be
that you're kind of like, geez, I don't know, like I'm nervous about this place. Like I get like butterflies. Do you still have that, or are you just, you know what I mean? Yes.
I mean, actually, for example, we went to Two Black Dogs in Standish. I won't even go up in the attic. There's something unpleasant in the attic, and I don't really want to take that on head on, I guess. Like, I don't really fear it, but it's more uncomfortable because I'm very empathic and because of all my abilities, it makes me uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I guess, if that makes any sense.
It does.
But as far as fear,
absolutely.
I'm afraid of everything.
I fear a bear chasing me in the woods.
Oh, see, me too.
Like that's it. I mean, that's what I consider fear.
I know I am going to be killed by a warthog on one of these investigations.
A warthog?
Yep, you heard me right. I just know it. That's why warthog. I don't know. It came out one time on an investigation. I was like, that sounds like a wild boar. Then I'm like, no, a warthog, and so it's stuck ever since. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
On your headstone, like, here lies Shay, victim of a warthog goring.
And then underneath it, I told you all.
Shay, I hope I'm on the investigation with you.
I'm afraid of animals. Oh my God. That's my thing. I'm afraid of animals.
You watch. It's going to be the spirit of a warthog, and it's going to kill you, Shay, and then Ashley, you're going to be with her. And that's going to be the fucking one time you're feared about the spirit world.
Yep.
Shay, we need to go home.
Oh, yep. Yeah. My sister was like, there's no warthogs around here. And I'm like, but let me tell you, if there is one, it will find me.
Well, it's like I have an irrational fear of sloths. It's the same thing.
Flies?
Sloths. I have an irrational fear of them.
Yeah, I'm allergic to them.
It's an animal that I'm allergic. Yeah, I want nothing to do with it. Yeah.
I don't think there's such thing, and I'm being serious, as an irrational fear. You can't help what you're afraid of. So, I think.
No, you can't help what you're afraid of, but you can overcome your fears.
Sometimes. I can't overcome my fear of warthogs, so.
We need to go to a zoo.
That'd be fine, as long as what it is I'm afraid of the
a warthog petting zoo.
This is the God's honest truth. The warthog thing's kind of a joke, but I'm a paranormal investigator, yes, but I'm afraid of the dark, and I'm afraid of the woods, like deeply afraid of these two things. And I did get over it. You guys have investigated with me, so you see I do go in the dark. But when you mix the woods and the dark together, I warthogs and stuff like that come to my mind.
Yeah.
It's just, it's who I am. Let's see. What? I'm trying not to ask any of Darren's questions that I'm sure he'll put in here. All right, here we go. He asked, I was just going to ask this, and he already asked it. Oops, hold on. We lost Christopher.
I know, I was just saying that, looking at that. Oh, there we go.
Yep, he called back. Hey, you back?
All right. Sweet, I got you guys. Sorry, yep, I'm back.
That's okay. It happens all the time. It sucks when it happens when I'm the one running the show and that happens, because then everybody goes away. But Darren wants to know, what has been your favorite location so far?
My favorite location was actually an old hospital in Gettysburg.
Oh, cool.
That was probably my favorite location.
Oh, very cool. Which one? Do you know? Was it a big hospital or the small war one? One of the small war ones? It was
a small war hospital. It was the Civil War hospital. We actually went on a tour. Spooky owns the place that does them. And we went on the tour, and me and Jeff went to this old hospital. It was like the last thing we did. And I had a lot of things happen to me that, like, I still can't explain and still blow my mind to this day. Because I'm still learning how to channel a lot of the stuff that I deal with on a daily basis, like being an empath, being clairvoyant, like a lot of the things I'm still learning how to channel. And I actually had a lot of great experiences there, and it was probably the most I've ever had in the paranormal field.
Nice. Was it your favorite? Nico asked, why was it your favorite? Is that why it was your favorite location?
Okay, so I'll tell you. So we went to the hospital, and we were with a whole group of people, and I'm not the biggest fan of going investigating with huge groups of people. I'm just not. So we get to this place, to another place that we just weren't getting a lot of activity at. So we get to this hospital, we pull in, and it's like an old farmhouse. And everyone else goes inside the building, and they were showing me and Jeff the burial grounds and stuff outside. We're sitting there, and Jeff's going live, and I was looking into the field, and I could see 3 soldiers walking in a clearing way into the field. And then I turn around, and all of a sudden I start getting dizzy. I start getting sick to my stomach. I felt like I was going to pass out, and I started to, I don't even know how to explain this. So I started to see almost like blacking out, but I started to see lights in my vision of nooses. There was 3 nooses.
Oh, wow.
And I was looking at these trees, and I was actually I guess nervous, is something wrong with me? I feel like I'm going to pass out. I'm trying to get Jeff's attention. He's all in live land in the middle of his own little world. And I'm like, Jeff. So, I finally started breathing, and I ground myself, and I'm starting to feel a little bit better. And I'm like, what the heck's going on with me? And I look at Jeff and I go, I just saw 3 nooses in the trees over there. And he's like, you're joking, right? I go, no. And so we meet up as a group or whatnot. We went inside the building, and then everyone else went outside, which was awesome because we got some one-on-one time in these 2 places. And we were playing actually with a child spirit. We had a ball, like just a normal bouncy ball that you would, like a bigger one that you would play in a pool with. And so we're playing with this bouncy ball in this room, and this bouncy ball is going everywhere. It is flying all over the room. We're not doing anything. Like, me and Jeff are looking at each other like, what the hell is going on? It was going back and forth and twisting and turning. We had lights going off. He had like motion detector lights. They were going off. We have it all on video. And I'm like, whoa, this is cool. So we meet the guy who was like showing us around. He's an investigator as well. And I'm like, I go, can I ask you something? And he's like, what? I go, was anyone hung outside? He goes, what do you mean? I go, was anyone hung? He goes, where? And I'm like, I'm just wondering, was anyone hung? He goes, I'm not going to confirm or deny any of this. We'll talk about it later. And I'm like, what? So after everyone was like dispersing or whatnot, I'm like, you need to tell me like what's going on. He goes, how did you know that? I'm like, I saw nooses in a tree. And he goes, I never said anything about this. I'm like, no, I know you didn't. And he goes, yeah, two people were hung in the tree. And he goes, what tree? And I pointed over at the tree. He goes, that's the exact one. And then he was telling me something else. He said that they were hung, but they didn't die, so they got shot. Ooh. So I was like, oh, wow. He goes, I don't know how you even knew that. I go, because I saw it. And he's like, wow. I think I kind of shocked him too. But that's the first time anything like that has ever happened to me. And I'm like, I still don't know exactly how to explain it. But that was the coolest experience I've ever had.
Meaning that's the first time you ever saw something, is what you're talking about. Like, in your mind's eye?
I've seen things, but nothing like that.
Okay.
Like, seeing it like that. It was just weird. I can't even explain it. It was like, almost like if you're in the dark and you see like a noose shaped like light. I don't know how to explain it.
No,
it's so like a lot more vivid than kind of usually what clairvoyance will allow. It's more of like, this was like definitive right in front of you, clear, right?
Yes, but I didn't actually see the people. I just saw the nooses.
Yeah, and I'm thinking too that it would explain why you got dizzy and everything too, especially if if the hanging itself didn't cause their passing, then like it would explain why you felt dizzy, because you could have been picking up on their energy of like having to suffer through hanging there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that does make sense. It was definitely the weirdest experience. I thought I was actually like gonna pass out. I was like getting nervous. I'm like, I'm gonna pass out. Like, I feel like I'm gonna black out right now.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
But it was actually really cool after like it was all said and done with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once the feeling of blacking out kind of subsided.
Exactly.
Excuse me, sorry. Nico in chat. So I'm trying to keep up with chat. I still don't have my glasses, and I have Kelly usually helps me read them, so I'm doing the best I can. So I'm going to ask the questions as they come up so I don't lose them. What are your personal goals in the paranormal? Why do you do what you do? This is from Nico.
I don't really have goals. Like, I'm not in this to be famous. I'm not in this to like be on TV or anything like this. If I can help somebody understand what's going on in their life or in their house, or even like show proof that like this does exist, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people who have like restless spirits in their house that make them uncomfortable. Like, I would love to help them, to where they understand the paranormal and understand these spirits, and either help them pass over, or help people live with them and understand them more, or, see if they have any messages to carry on. Anything like that. I just like doing stuff like that. And I'd like to go explore new places. I love history. I'm a huge history buff. Yeah. So like anywhere where there's amazing history, amazing architecture, anything like that, just to, understand history and speak to those people who have passed in history.
That's awesome. I have a question for you, if that's cool.
Yep.
Shay, did you have anything? Am I good to ask her?
Oh yeah, just go ahead. Just tell me. Hey, quiet.
All right, cool. So you were talking about how you wanted to kind of like show people that like this stuff is the spirit world's really out there and stuff like that. So my question is kind of like, with all of the data and the evidence, all of this stuff that's out there that is supporting of the paranormal and that's supporting of metaphysical stuff like psychic work and mediumship, why do you think that there is such skepticism still when it comes to the paranormal and residual hauntings and things like that?
People don't believe what they can't actually see themselves. I mean, that's with anything. That's with the paranormal. That's with religion. That's with Bigfoot. That's with anything. People just don't believe what they can't physically see themselves, or they can't physically feel themselves. They need evidence. They need, some people just don't even know how to deal with it. Or denial. Denial's another big thing.
Yeah, it's not just a river in Africa.
No.
Those are bad.
Brian and Nico say they love that question. Great question. Let's see. Did I miss any?
Have you run into a lot of people that are skeptical?
Oh, people are skeptical all the time. I run into millions of people that are skeptical. Actually, this kid that works for me last night was actually kind of funny. Because he goes, I don't believe in ghosts. And I'm like, oh, really? I go, but I mean, that's your choice. You don't have to, you don't have to believe in ghosts, but I think you should open your mind a little bit and, think of the possibility that it does exist. And he goes, well, I never really thought about that. And, I just got his wheels turning a little bit, and I'll work on him.
Mm-hmm. Chip away slowly.
Yep. Sometimes people won't believe until they have that almighty experience, like something that just is so there that they have to believe, like they have no other choice.
It's true. Like my son still doesn't believe. My son still thinks it's a load of crap.
Kidding.
Yep. He's 18, but he knows everything.
Oh, they always do at that age.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I thought I knew everything, too.
I still know everything, so. I'm just kidding.
What's the capital of Venezuela?
Anyways, moving on. That means I don't know. Just in case. Thank you, Nico. Nico, I missed a question. Nico just typed it in from. This one's from Darren. Let's see. What do you want to see different being done on investigations? Or how would you change
like on group investigations?
Yeah, I think that's what he means. Or in general.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I'm not really a big fan of group investigations. I really am not. I'm more of I don't mind going with a group of other paranormal investigators to go do something, but I'm not a fan of bringing people that aren't investigators on investigations. I don't know how to explain it.
No, you're doing good. I understand.
I like to go and do my own thing when I'm investigating. I'm very empathic, so I take on too many people's emotions if I'm investigating with a ton of people. And a lot of it is fear. People are afraid. People are scared shitless when you put them in a building with no lights. They really are.
Yeah.
I suck that up
true.
like a sponge. So it kind of makes it harder for me to do what I want to do and open up my channels the way I want to open up my channels when I'm with a whole bunch of people.
Well,
I think
that makes sense, because if you open up, you're going to absorb more of them than what you're trying to do.
Yeah. But I think for the most
and when
part,
you're picking up on the spirit world and you're picking up on the people that are still living and this is bombarded with all of this emotional and spiritual information, it can absolutely be like fuck this is too much.
Yep.
Yeah, it can get overwhelming. You have to ground yourself a lot. And that's one thing I'm really working on right now is working on my abilities to help myself, I guess, channel them better and understand them better and be able to control them more, I guess you would say. But I think for the most part, when I've been on investigations, the people who are hosting investigations do pretty well. They do as good as they can. My one thing is get really good investigators who are about the right thing, who are about not about fame, not about popularity, about actually showing you real evidence and not sugarcoating stuff or making people think that something's happening when it's not. That's the only advice I have for people who are putting on investigations.
Great advice.
Debunk stuff, to show people, hey, that's not really an orb. That's actually dust. Don't say, oh my God, look at the orb over there, when you know damn right that ain't a freaking orb.
Right, exactly.
Or if it's cold in a building and their breath goes in front of the camera, you can't, oh, that's mist. It's no, you breathe.
Oh, yeah. Or cigarette smoke.
Exactly. Be real and true to the field if you're going to be taking people who don't know what the hell they're doing out there.
Yeah, I've seen some people like to scare them. I'm sorry, Chris, what?
Well, no, I was just agreeing that, it gives people the wrong impression when they go out. If you're just going, oh my God, what's that? To everything, then someone's going to have this expectation to when they go to a haunted location that every little thing, the little mouse fart is going to mean it's a ghost,
That and you're not teaching. If you are, Ashley, Nicole, and Jeff and I helped at Parsonsfield. So we've worked together and we led different groups, and they were enthusiasts. And if you're not teaching them the right, I don't want to say the right way, but if you're not educating them on real, fake, this is why this is doing it. If you're just there to scare them and to make money and scare them so they come back and you can make more money, that's not the right reason. When you're teaching people, you need to educate them, and it's good and bad. I mean, it's not always easy. It's hard to look somebody in the face and be like, hey, that wasn't paranormal, But you have to.
What was it?
Yep. Sorry. Matt's being funny in chat. He said, how dare you? That orb is my granny. Thank you, Nico.
I can see the failed perm. I know it's her.
Yeah. Or when they blow it up. We talked about this on a show. that I just recorded when they blow up the picture like 1,000 times and you see, oh, look it, there's an eyes and the mouth, and it's like, no, that's blank space in between the leaves.
I'm huge with evidence. I like second guess stuff so much. You guys should know, like in the group chat, what do you think this is? Does that look like a person? That has to be a person. That can't be really a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. Like we have to burst our own bubbles when it comes to the stuff that we collect and see, because ultimately most of the time it's there's probably an explanation for it.
Right. But if we can't do that with each other, if we can't do peer reviews, and if we can't be honest, then why are we showing each other stuff?
Well, exactly.
And
having that constructive criticism, that's with anything. If you show somebody a painting and they just go, oh my God, it's amazing, and even if it's like the shittiest painting, like you're not giving them an honest representation of what it is. You're just lighting them up so they can feel better than what is really there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What's the phrase?
If it's
gaslighting, I guess they call it. Yeah, just telling something. It's yep, that's it. That's a ghost no matter what. Yep.
Yeah.
The house is settling. It's a ghost.
That's why people. I always tell people, don't send me your pictures. You don't want me, because I'll be honest.
And of course, when I met you at Parafest, the first thing I did was like, hey, check out this picture I got.
You'll have to resend me the picture now and see if I give you the same answer that I did. I don't remember what I said, but
it was definitely like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, what? You're like, what exactly are you seeing? I'm like, right here. And you're like, well.
So I was honest.
Yeah, and it was great. And I told you then, I was like, no, I appreciate that, because I don't want to go around looking like a jackass, being like, I got a ghost over here, and really just like leave.
Did she have her glasses on?
No, I broke them that morning. No, I broke them. No, that was.
No, you didn't.
I broke them a couple months before. I broke them the morning of Parsons Field.
Yeah.
And that was like a month before. And I still don't have them. But I do use that excuse too. So if you guys send me pictures and I say, oh, I'm blind as a bat, I can't really see, that just means I know you're going to argue with me and I don't have time to get into it. Nico sent me another question from Darren. Thank you, Nico, very much for rewriting those for me. I lost it. It was about channeling, I think.
That is interesting. I was curious. How would you define that, Ashley? Like when you say channeling and opening up, like what is that process like for you, if you don't mind?
Right now it's a nightmare from hell, to be honest. With COVID going on and working with the public, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm bipolar.
Fair enough.
It's so bad right now. It's so bad. I'll come home and I feel like I just went on a roller coaster ride all day today.
Right.
I'm still working on it. That's my thing. I'm still working on it. More now than ever. I'm trying to figure out how to shut it off when I want it to shut off. I channel energy like all the time without even like recognizing it. And sometimes I'll like feel people's energies, and I don't want to sound crazy, be like, oh, like, are you okay? Like, because I'm
go up to somebody,
I'll feel somebody like really deep sorrow, and it's like I want to ask them if they're okay or if they need somebody to talk to, but then they're going to be like, who the hell are you?
Yeah, right.
I could just picture you walking up to somebody in like Market Basket. Excuse me, ma'am. Are you okay?
Yeah. I just want you to know. Do you need a hug?
Like somebody who has deep sadness, or somebody who's like, or I'll be like, oh wait, like that might happen, like, because I'm very clairvoyant, so I'll be like, oh crap, that person's gonna something's going to happen to this person, like coming up. And how do you warn somebody that something's going to happen to them? You don't know what it is, but you know something's going to happen to them. How do you warn somebody?
But here's another question. Should you warn them?
I don't.
See, that's a great question. That is a great question.
I warn Jeff all the time, and he's just now starting to realize, oh, wait, maybe I should start listening to you.
See, this is totally just my opinion, but like, if telling Jeff, like, hey, you know, don't do this, or your loved ones that know that you have this ability and this gift to pick up on stuff, I think that is good. And again, this is just my opinion, but like you said, like, how do you go up to somebody in a grocery store and be like, look, you know, don't eat that fucking burger because that's going to be the one that's going to put you into cardiac arrest. You know what I mean? Like, and then if you do say that, is that fucking with their free will? Or
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's actually a good way to put it because it happens all the time. Like, all the time. I'll be like, I don't know. I'll be somewhere and I'll be like, if that person does that, that's not going to end well for them. And I just don't even want to stick around long enough to watch it happen.
So here's a question for both of you. This is from Nico. I'm going to ask Nico's question, and I'm going to add a little bit to it. Nico wants to know, if you warn them, will it change the outcome of things? So, and if it does, here's my part of it. If you do think it will change events, if you warn somebody, do you think it's going to come back around at them anyways, down the road? How do you think that works? Go ahead, Chris. You go first.
Awesome question.
You can go first, Chris.
All right. Okay. Let's see. So that's a very interesting question because, like, if you do tell them, right, then you're running the risk of, like you said, is that messing with their free will? And if you say that and then it doesn't happen, what if it was supposed to happen? But then you have the argument of, like, well, if you are feeling it and you know it's going to happen, then why wouldn't you give that information? And maybe there's a divine or a higher source of a reason for you to say, hey, look, like, I just need you to, like, hold the fuck on for a minute. Don't go over there for 5 minutes because if you do, you're going to get squashed. So it's like a really weird thing. Like, it's a hard balance of wondering whether you are messing with their free will and would that change the consequences of their life? Or, like you said, Shay, would it come around back anyway? I think it very well could, because if that's just meant to happen, it's meant to happen.
Oh,
but
like
maybe
Final
by you
Destination.
That event,
those movies.
kind of, and maybe the universe is just kind of like, all right, well, that was our opportunity that didn't happen. We're going to wait and we're going to make it manifest in a different way. It's a weird thing. So that's kind of my stance on it. I think it could absolutely do either of those things, but you know, I guess that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, I like that. How about you, Ash?
I think it would depend on the situation, but I think, like, people like me and Chris that were given this gift, I think we were given it for a reason. If we weren't, if we were given this gift and told we weren't supposed to help in some sort of way, then why would we have it?
Yep.
That's kind of like how I feel. So, like, I feel like it's a tool to help people, but it also can be a tool of destruction as well. I mean, I'm not going to go up to the lady at the bar and say, hey, lady, your husband's cheating on you, because it could bring a whole bunch more repercussions than I would want to deal with. But I think we're here to give people the tools to help them figure out stuff on their own, I guess.
Yeah.
Like hints and tools. But I don't know if you believe in, like, spirit guides and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So I believe that we're here to give them the tools to help themselves. I know I've, like, told Jeff not to do stuff and this is what's going to happen, and he doesn't listen to a damn word I say, and it usually always happens. But when he does, it doesn't happen, and I haven't seen it like come back on him again with the one time he does listen to me. So I don't know.
Nice.
I like
I think a good way to navigate it.
Yep.
I think a good way to navigate that too, especially for strangers. I mean, like I said, with people that we care about and that we live with, it's a little different because they're more open and secure about what we do and they trust our abilities and stuff like that. But I think a way to navigate it for like in a public setting like that for somebody that you've never met or a stranger would be maybe like going up to them and be like, look, I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I don't know what your feelings are, but I have these abilities. I'm picking up something about you. Would you be open to me giving you that information? And if they're like, what the fuck, get away from me, then you have your answer that way. Or if they say like, you know what, sure, what do you got to say? Then you can at least do it so they're not just like bombarded and off guard. And then they're not freaking out wondering, okay, well, shit, are my brakes going to go on my way home to see my wife? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't want to freak people out. And I think that's my issue. Like, when I get
it's hard
in public, I'm like, oh, if I see something, I'm gonna probably freak this person out, and they're gonna lose their crap on me, and then they're gonna try to hunt me down when it does happen.
Yeah, you put this out there.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It is, but this question, we could sit here and talk about this one question for an hour. Just this one question, because one answer leads you to another question, or leads you to another answer, then to another question. It goes round and round.
Yep. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I like that question. All right, we have a couple more questions from Darren. Oh, this is back on the channeling. And what are the dangers of channeling? Are there any?
There's tons of dangers in channeling. You could, especially like if you're working with, like in a place where there's spirits who are very restless, or spirits that are angered, or spirits that, demons, I guess you would say. It could be very dangerous to channel. You're opening your whole entire body up to the world. That's how possession happens. That's literally what I believe is how possession happens, is by the wrong kind of channeling. Just like Ouija boards. Ouija boards is channeling. I've seen some really horrible things happen with Ouija boards. So yes, channeling can be bad if you do not do it right, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another one from Darren.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah. I don't know because I don't channel, but it made sense to me.
Definitely protecting yourself in extreme ways is important.
Yes.
And you probably shouldn't do it until you learn how to protect yourself, correct?
Oh, yeah. I've done some stupid crap.
But you could also say every toddler falls on their face at least a few times before they learn to run.
More than yeah. When I was younger, and wait, I can do this shit? Oh yeah, I got this. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you're a witch? Oh yeah, you try this. It's gonna come back on you threefold.
Right.
That's not no joke.
What's that saying? That'll learn you. I heard that on a TV show.
Yeah, that'll learn you. Yeah.
Did I sound like a redneck? I was trying. That'll learn you.
You sounded like a genuine Mainer.
I loved it. I loved I forget what it was, but that'll learn you. Sorry.
That's great.
All right, Darren wants to know. I like this question too. Do you think spirits can read our minds?
I honestly have no clue. That's actually a really good question. I can't answer that one.
And I like the fact that you admitted that.
Can I share my opinion on that?
Of course. Yeah. You don't have to ask.
Yes, we go.
I think it's absolutely they can read our minds, because think about like mediumship. When we're doing mediumship, they're blending with us and they're kind of sharing our minds and our references and things like that. So why wouldn't they be able to tap into our energy and our information? You know what I mean? Because they're using all that stuff to be able to communicate. So like if you're talking with somebody in the spirit world who's from Japan, if you don't know any Japanese, they're going to speak to you in English. And they're going to describe things to you that you know about. If you don't know about a certain custom or tradition, it's going to be difficult for them to find those reference points in your mind to be like, hey, this is what I need you to say. You know, they're going to try to use what they can to make it seem as close as possible. But if you don't know it, then they can't access it. So I think, in my personal opinion, they can absolutely read our minds, because that's what allows them to blend with us and communicate.
I never thought of that. Do you think it's for everybody? Or just mediums?
I think everybody, you know, I mean, like I truly think, you know, there's some school of thoughts that say not everybody's a psychic and everybody's a medium or whatever like that. I think it's everybody's God-given right to be psychic and be a medium. You know, if you went up to somebody and they were like, oh, you know, I talked to my grandmother who's in the spirit world the other day, and you were like, are you a medium? And they were like, no. And you said, well, no, you didn't. Like, how fucking rude is that? Like, is that really, were they really not talking to their grandmother because they were not, quote unquote, a medium? No, they were absolutely connected to her. They love her. They share that moment with her, you know?
I think everyone has the ability to be psychic and be a medium and actually be empathic. It's all about training and learning how to find that deep down inside you. I think absolutely everyone could do it, but I think people put so many blocks, and it's all about finding your spirit, finding how to be spiritual and not put those blocks up. And a lot of people put so many blocks up that they're never going to be able to unless they break down those blocks.
I gotcha.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. We have about 8 minutes left of the show. So we have one more question from Darren. On an investigation, have you ever tried to do a tarot card reading for spirit to see what happens while running a recorder? I don't even know if you do tarot. Cool. Do either of you do tarot?
I do, but I've never
do more personal.
Personal, not.
If someone asks, I'll do it. But yeah, usually I just do it, kind of read the cards for myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I read cards for myself. I read cards for friends or family members. I actually did my first reading for somebody the other day, which was way out of my norm. And it actually came out really good. But as far as like on investigations, I've never even thought about that. I
never did either.
I've seen other teams do it, or maybe one or two other teams do it. But and I always thought it was kind of fascinating. But no, I've never tried it myself.
Well, if either of you guys ever do, you'll have to make a video and make sure you let me know, so I can just see one way or the other.
Maybe that's going to have to be on our bucket list.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Before, do you have a bucket list, Ashley? Like, what's one place, if you could go anywhere to investigate, where would it be?
Anywhere?
Anywhere.
Oh, I'd go to Europe in a heartbeat.
Really?
Send me to some castles. Hell yeah.
I
actually love to go to the catacombs. If anything, I would love to go to the catacombs.
Oh, yeah. Paris?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be, yeah.
All right. All right. This is really the last question. This is a running question, and we've had some crazy answers. It's a fun question, so there really is no right or wrong. And my show is marked explicit, so feel free to answer any way you want. What's the one object in the whole world you would never want haunted?
What would you never want haunted?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I wouldn't want Jesus haunted either. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, man, what would I never want haunted? I don't even know.
We've gotten on the network, we've gotten some strange ones. Bathroom, butt plugs, vibrators, toothbrushes. I mean, you name it, we have got it.
I don't want any of that shit haunted. Nothing that's going in me should be haunted at all.
Right? But, yeah, so we've gotten crazy, crazy answers.
I don't want my dog haunted. That would be scary. My dog's on crack. He was haunted, that would be terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
That would be possession. But a haunted item, I don't know. I would probably like any of my swords in my house. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like I like haunted objects. Like, this isn't fair. I like haunted objects. I don't mind anything really being haunted. All
right, what's the one object you would want haunted then? How about that? Is that easier?
That I would?
Yeah.
There's so many haunted things. Probably a piece of my grandmother's old jewelry would be really cool if it was haunted.
Oh, there we go. That's pretty cool. That's a good answer. So before we go, I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow is the beginning of the 36-hour charity live stream event for ALS from Paranormal Encounters on YouTube. It starts at 9 a.m. and it's 36 hours long. I am on at 12 noon Eastern. Rebecca, my co-host, or I'm her co-host, whatever, for Exploring the Unknown. She's on right after me at 1. Great lineup. I can't get to them all, but Chris, I'm reading the thing and it said Christopher, is actually on there too. So you guys have to make sure you check it out. He's pre-recorded between 4 a.m. and 9 a.m. Sunday morning. Is that correct? Somewhere in there?
I think we lost him again.
Oh. Says he's here. Oh. Okay. Anyway, I believe he said he was 4 a.m. to... Yeah.
I remember it was 4 or something.
Yeah, I think he said 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Sunday, so... we did lose him. He just messaged me. So... I think he's gonna try back. I'm not sure. You want to throw out your social media info? Where can people find you?
AJ's Paranormal on Facebook.
Yes. Are you guys are on Instagram? Are you guys on Twitter? I couldn't find you.
No.
No? Okay. But you are on Instagram. All right. Tag
all that stuff.
Oh, no, it is. It's Jeff's face on Instagram, so it is you guys. I just remembered. I hope you come back sometime.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, see? It wasn't that bad. I told you I'd be nice.
It was not bad. It was like ripping off a Band-Aid. We're good.
See? All right. Guys, thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you.
Next week we have... Missy and Richie from Paranormal 5. I believe that's it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat. I didn't give everybody shout-outs tonight because I can't read it, guys. That's why I usually have Kelly read it. I have trouble with my glasses on, never mind without. But I know Nico was in there, Darren, Mom, Matt's in there, Brian was in there. I have the Beholders in there. And I think I'm missing somebody or a few people, but thank you for listening. I really, really appreciate it. Ashley, thank you for being on. And
Thank you for having me.
Yep, hold on 1 second while I finish up, and I'll be right with you. So, guys, tune in to the live charity event tomorrow. Like I said, me and Rebecca will be on 12 Eastern, 1 Eastern. And check out the lineup. I shared a bunch of them, so you can check out who's on when. Too many to list. And I will be back next Friday. And Kelly is also back next Friday. So we will see you then. Good night, guys.